Welcome to the Toronto Hunt.
Hi, I'm Tina Brillinger, and I am an alum from Ontario Ladies College, Trafalgar Castle School. I attended Trafalgar Castle from 1976 to 1981, along with my sister Anne, and we were boarders there. Very much enjoyed our time there, and love to be affiliated with Trafalgar and all of the events that are going on, especially this year during the 150th commemorative anniversary. Today we're here joined by Marcel Bregstein. Marcel Bregstein is our club manager here at Toronto Hunt Club. He has been our club manager for the past 28 years. He holds the distinction of having the Order of Champagne, which is a really, really rare distinction, and also is in the Guinness World Book of Records for the most bottles sabered, which is really fun to see him do. We decided to collaborate with Marcel because of his knowledge and experience with wines to come up with a really elevated commemorative bottles of wine for this special anniversary year. Welcome, Marcel.
Thank you so much. It is truly an honor to be a part of this venture. It is fantastic to have and do something really special, especially celebrating 150 years. Yeah. So that was a really big task that you gave me, because finding the wines that commemorate such a great occasion was not easy, as there's so many wines to choose from in the world. Thank you for giving me that opportunity and being part of this great celebration.
We appreciate your collaboration with us. Absolutely. Right. So in the past, we've had reunions at the school every 5 years. We had various reunions, and there was wine that was made available at the reunion only. And it was, bottled wine that was probably done locally with some paper labels. And I actually hold a collection of all of them, and I fondly look at them. It's one of my favorite little collections. And in thinking about this coming year, I thought it would be really nice to have a commemorative bottle of wine that maybe had some etching on it, because Trafalgar Castle School is known for the stained glass and the etching in the stained glass. So I thought that would be interesting, but also to really elevate the wine and have a bottle of wine that any collector would want. So I reached out to Marcel, and we had an opportunity to talk about that. And he introduced us to Jonathan Gillihan from Boss Pro, and they worked with us to collaborate on how we could best put this together. And he also suggested and helped me collaborate on how we could make this a fundraiser for the school. Not everybody that comes through the school doors is making a large donation, but everybody does like to contribute. And it's nice to have something that's a takeaway that they can hold on to, and a nice bottle of wine that's going to age and be drinkable in a few years. I can tell you that the wines that I have from the past are not drinkable, so I wouldn't even open them. But we were very excited to put something really special together for our community. Well, Sheriff Reynolds, who was the original builder of Trafalgar Castle School, he was quite an interesting character. And back in the day when he built the castle, he actually built tunnels underneath the school that went right under the 401 to Lake Ontario. And, history has it that he was using that during, it was being used during Prohibition and whatnot. And at some point, I think the castle lore is that, during some renovations, there was a wine cellar that was found in behind one of the classrooms, which may have been his headquarters, for his extracurricular activities. But he was quite a character, and he was very entertaining. He had 2 wives, Marcel.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 2 wives, 12 children by each wife. So yeah, he was a very different person. But I think it's great to have something that kind of commemorates him and what he was kind of like as well. So it sort of lends itself to that the early beginnings of the castle. I think what makes these wines special are the fact that we were able to get really high quality wines through Toronto Hunt Club. These are not wines that you can typically get through the LCBO. And the artwork that was done on them includes an etching of the castle, but also the 150th logo. So, it's a great keepsake to have. And we're really proud of what we were able to put together with Marcel and choose some wines that are really special.
So, when you asked me to select some wines, I know that there was a budget too, but I tried to find the best that we could, and
Yeah.
some things that were not easy to get. Of course, these wines are not at the LCBO, but these wines are also from very special people, and a couple of them, especially this one, is from somebody that's really, really close to me. We hosted here Jenny Wagner a couple of times. Jenny Wagner is the daughter of the famous producer of Camus,
Oh,
and Jenny, a humble, loving, and when you meet her, she's just a beautiful human, a farmer girl that owns a $300 million
wow.
winery. Uh, Last time she was here, she flew in her private jet, and somebody was asking her, how was your flight from San Francisco? And she goes, no, I fly from Napa. Very humble because she
Yeah.
doesn't fly commercial. Anyway, Jenny, thank you for being here a couple of times. I had the honor of interviewing her dad, Mr. Chuck Wagner, the famous, one of the most famous, probably, if not the most famous wine producer in the world.
Wow.
He taught his kids, he has three, so Jenny has two brothers, and they're all so successful. And it really has to do with that, but the talent that they inherited in their taste buds, and the passion and the love of which they make wine, it's here in the juice. This is a Sauvignon Blanc that Jenny started with. The name is Emolo. And Emolo Sauvignon Blanc, most people say Imolo, so we're going to correct the world. It's Emolo, and this is her mother's last name. So this is
Oh,
Jenny's
quite a
mother's
history.
last name. Yeah. So the grandparents used to have a wine plant. They used to actually grow plants and sell plants. And this is what they did. And mom wanted to become a winemaker, and she wasn't able to do it, unfortunately. So Jenny actually named the wine after her mom
Special.
and the family. So this is a really special wine. This is a Sauvignon Blanc that really reflects the flavor of Napa. But it's actually, the wine's not from Napa, it's from Susun. But Susun is so close. Susun is actually on the border of Napa. A lot of people don't understand when they see on a label Susun and they get all confused and they think this wine is not that great. Well, it is. This is technically all fruit from Susun, which is actually a one of the appellations that is actually older than Napa. It was actually there before Napa became an appellation of wine. So it has been there for a long time. It has been producing really amazing Sauvignon Blanc. Also, she makes a really great Merlot. But this one is fantastic. This wine is so good because it's got the acidity that you need to cut through the fat of seafood. And with seafood, you need that acidity to be able to bring down and bring out the flavors
Right.
of the meat.
I
So-
had it, and it was, I thought it was delicious.
Yeah.
It was crisp, and
Yeah.
it was clean,
It was.
very
It
clean.
was. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very. It's got all the fruit there, but the balance with
Yes.
the alcohol and the acidity is just perfect with scallops. Perfect with lobster too.
Yes.
It is actually salads. Refreshing salads is beautiful too. Okay, so here we have the Chateau Mascaron. Chateau Mascaron is actually a beautiful rosé wine, and a lot of people here or think of rosé as what it used to be in California with the white Zinfandel, and it is a huge mistake because that is not the true representation of rosé wine.
No, it isn't.
People also think it is Matou's rosé, and you remember Matou's
We
rosé.
used to drink that. Yeah.
Those wines
Oh,
back then, they were what they were. A true rosé wine. This wine is made with four varietals, which is Insult, Grenache, uh, Mourvedre, and Vermentino. And Vermentino is a white varietal. The other three are red.
mm,
So the reason the color is not because it's made with technically three red
mhm,
grapes. It's not deep and dark like it is a red wine. Is because the process of maceration, the contact with the
right.
skins, the juice in the contact with the skins is not for a very long time. So it's about 8, maybe 6 days, and just gives it enough color and enough structure, which is fantastic because white wines do not have really tannins. A rosé wine will have tannins because now it had contact with the skins, and that's where the tannins come from. So this rosé specifically, it is from there's an MBA actually player that decided to invest wine in a winery, and he decided to invest in this specific winery
Mm.
because he fell in love with the flavor of the wine. So
This flavor is fantastic. I've been drinking a lot of rosé, as you know, for the last few years. I'm
mhm.
buying rosé, and I think it's one of the best rosés I've actually had.
It's great value.
Yeah,
It's got what I call a great balance. So
it
it's got
is.
the perfect amount of alcohol, the perfect amount of sugar, and the perfect amount of acidity that work
It
together.
really does.
But it also has a tanning structure, a little
Hmm.
bit of tannins. So this can actually go with grilled meats really well.
Hmm.
It's also great with seafood
Yeah.
and with great salads. But one of the beautiful things about this wine is that it will go so well with tomatoes. And there's not
Oh,
many wines that actually pair well with tomatoes. But
with the
rosés from the
acidity.
south of France,
Yeah.
this is from the Languedoc region,
Okay.
which is one of my favorite regions, if not
And
truly my
where is
favorite region.
Languedoc?
It is in the south of
Okay.
France,
Okay.
and it is where the best rosés in the world
Nice.
are
Nice.
produced, and this one being one of them.
Yeah. Well, I think you knocked it out of the park for sure on that
Thank you.
rosé too.
Thank you very much. Now, the last one here, this is also from California. This is Solid Ground, and Solid Ground is actually a venture that started with a company called Profile. The importers here in Canada decided to work with a winery in California to make a really good wine especially for them. And they came up after trial with one of the best value Cabernet
Mm.
Sauvignons that I have come across. Uh, there are so many great Cabernet Sauvignons that come from California.
How does this solid ground reserve compare with solid ground that you might find at the LCBO?
Oh, but it's a huge difference.
I
So
noticed a
the
difference.
solid ground, the LCBO is the entry level,
Right.
technically of this wine. It is
And if
actually
you like that, this is like, elevated, much greater.
it is.
This was my favorite wine out of the three.
It's incredible the power in this wine. I mean, the structure of this wine.
Right.
It is just as good as some of those wines, and most people, including myself, I think the wine is underpriced by $20 to $30.
Wow.
This is probably the best value. This is from the fruit is from Lodi,
Okay.
and it is actually inland a bit, but it still gets the cool evenings to bring up the acidity in the wine, which is so important. But the structure itself and the layers of flavor on the wine, the tasting notes, the chocolate, mocha. It's got some
A little
lots
bit of
of
cherry.
blackberries and
Yeah.
cherries too.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think a bit of cherry.
it
Yeah.
is. It is just a beautiful wine. For grilled.
It would be great for any holiday,
Well, it's great.
or special event. Yes.
I think it's a great wine for every single day.
Yes.
This is,
Yeah. Yeah. If you can. Yeah.
this is how good this wine is. It is, and especially this time of the year with all those stewed meats, that you
And
can think of.
could I drink that wine in 2 or 3 years when
Oh, absolutely. This has got the aging structure. The
yes,
tanning
that's what we were
structure is
looking for,
big
is
there. That
something that could last. So how long would a wine like that
I would
last
say
for?
8 years. This wine
8 years.
actually will
Okay,
be
that's
will
great.
be at its best.
Yeah.
Right now, what you do is you decant it an hour before.
An
and
hour.
an
Okay.
hour
Wow.
before,
Okay.
and you need the wine to open, and you need the wine to age, and that's what happens
Okay.
when you actually open the wine and decant it. The wine is actually aging at a fast rate, so technically that hour may be equivalent to the 8 years that you have to wait.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. That's an interesting fact.
Yeah, so these are my choices because I think they're all value. All the wines are
Great
tremendous,
value.
tremendous value, and they're. I hope that everyone that is going to drink them appreciates them.
Yeah, and with the purchase with the purchase of any of these wines, there's going to be a small contribution that goes to the annual fund at Trafalgar Castle School, which is really helping to support our community and the girls and the various things that are needed at the castle. So, if you like wine and you want something that's commemorative, I think that this is a great opportunity to get it. And there's only certain times that you can order it, so make sure you get your order in. It's a limited collection, obviously.